Hi guys, what's up, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I wasn't doing anything interesting today, so I thought why not do a video on all of my camera equipment, because I've had a few people ask which cameras I've used, why I use them, and I thought it would be a good video for if you are just starting out on YouTube and you don't know what route to go down with cameras. So I'm going to explain what and why I use. Also, I've seen a few other people, YouTubers, do this. Shout out to Zombie Chris, he gave me the idea. So the first camera I'm going to talk about is the Canon G7X Mark I. This is my main vlogging camera. The reason I love this camera is it's so small and so light. That's the size of my hand. It's smaller than my hand. It is great quality, a great quality camera. It also shoots awesome photos, so it's really good for a point and shoot camera. The main thing why vloggers like this camera is it has a flip screen, so if I'm vlogging looking into the camera, I can actually see to make sure I'm in shot, to make sure I'm in focus, to make sure it's not over or underexposed. And the other great thing about this camera is it's really good in low light. I got this camera about 3 weeks before the Mark II came out. This is the Mark I. There is the autofocus niggle with this camera. Sometimes it does drift the autofocus. Apart from that though, you can keep tapping on the screen to focus back into yourself. But it is a great all-round camera. Pretty much 99% of my Florida footage last year was shot on this. And I probably will be using this as the main camera this year as well. When I'm out and about around my hometown, also use this camera because it's easy just to put in the pocket and put out. I've got a screen protector on the back, with it being touchscreen I wanted to keep the screen in best condition that I could. So yeah, I think I paid around £350 for this camera, and it's well worth its money. It shoots in 60 frames a second, which gives, to me, it looks a little bit better. It does shoot in 30 frames a second. I know most films are shot in 24 frames a second for that nice look. But I tend to shoot in 60 frames a second in this. It will take up more space, but also if you want to do slow-mo shots, the higher frames per second is also better. So I shoot everything in 60 frames. And when you're slowing things down, it's less jittery, because I do like to do quite a lot of slow-mo in my vlogs. So that is the Canon G7X. So now I'm shooting on the G7X Mark I. The camera which I was shooting on for the first scene is my newest camera. It is the Canon 750D. It has got a 18-55 lens on it, which is just the starter lens which came with the camera. I do have a flower petal lens hood on there just to protect the lens from any damage, and also helps any stray light from coming in. As you can tell, I've got a pretty big microphone on the top. It is the Rode VidMic Go. It's the one that doesn't take external batteries. So far it's okay. I might upgrade the camera later on. I'm using the Dead Cat at the minute because everywhere I seem to vlog seems to be windy. So this helps drown out some of the wind as well. I also have a smaller wind filter which came with the camera, which is that there. So that would replace this to make it smaller. This camera shoots in 24 frames a second at full HD, and the quality on this is amazing. What I like about this camera is it has the manual focus, which that one, the G7X does, but it isn't as good as this one, with this being a full DSLR. I like how I can take the lenses. It also has a flip screen which I can turn around as well, again for if I'm vlogging looking in the camera. It also takes awesome photos. I'm should I say, getting into photography, so this is a great camera for that. It has, I believe, a 24 megapixel camera, and I absolutely love this camera. The only downside is it's really big, so I don't know how well I'm going to do with this in the theme parks. I do use a Joby pod, the Gorilla pods on the bottom, as a sort of selfie stick to help stabilize it and help hold it. But this is really awesome. The next lens I do want is a 10-22 wide angle lens. But overall, absolutely love this camera. That's what I was shooting on in the first clip. So you can sort of tell the quality difference. This is shooting in 60 frames a second, so you'll probably see that your movements are a little bit faster, whereas this was only shooting in 24 frames a second. Also, with the 750D DSLR, at present I've only got one battery because they're pretty pricey, around £50 a battery. For the G7X, which I'm shooting on now, I have 4 batteries, and if you can tell, I number all of the batteries. In reason being is I have all 4 charged, and it's so I don't put the same battery in twice and miss a shot or anything like that. So I'll start with battery number 1, 2, 3 and 4. I've never had to use number 4 in the theme park. I always have it fully charged just in case though. And when I do get more DSLR batteries, I will be numbering them as well. So that's another cool little tip that you can use if you have multiple batteries. Now the other camera which I use in my videos doesn't really get used a lot. This was the first camera I ever used to vlog with. The quality for vlogging is terrible, especially the light in this room, which is where I do quite a lot of daily vlogging. And it is the GoPro Hero 3 Plus Silver, I think. I'm not going to upgrade this camera because I only ever use it when I want an action shot, if I'm on a ride, or if I'm in a water park. I used it in Typhoon Lagoon in last year's videos, so if you want to go back and check them out. I did use it in there. It shoots in full 1080D at 60 frames or 30 frames, so it's pretty awesome camera for the size of it. At present it's in its waterproof casing, and the only downside to being in the waterproof casing is the sound is horrible. I did a Discovery Cove vlog mainly on this camera, and it took me about 4 days to sort the audio out just so that you could hear. You can also get this case for it, which is just a skeleton housing, so you can still access all the buttons. It is not waterproof with this case. It's just literally so it has the mount on the bottom there, so you can hold it onto something or one of the adapters. But the sound is better with this. You can plug an external microphone into this, but it isn't waterproof once it's out of the casing. So again, I mainly only use this for water rides, water parks, any other theme park ride or action shot, e.g. strapped to the car. I do have a head strap, I have a chest strap, I have a wrist strap, I have a floaty hand grip which straps to your wrist, and if you leave go it'll just float so the camera doesn't get lost. I think this at the time I paid about £200. It's possibly cheaper second hand now because the GoPro 4 and now the new GoPro 5's just come out. If I did have the money and I did use the GoPro enough to warrant it, I would upgrade to the 5 because the GoPro 5 doesn't need a case. It's waterproof straight out the box, so that's pretty awesome. But again, I wouldn't recommend this for vlogging. It doesn't have any built-in stabilization, and it's not very good in low light, so not for vlogging. Now, since you've seen all my other camera equipment, you may think, why does he use this camera? But it is the iPhone 6s Plus. Now, sometimes I don't feel comfortable vlogging in public, especially like with the looks and things you get. So pulling an iPhone out your pocket is just so easy, and people don't even know that you're shooting video on it. It shoots in 4K, which is higher rating than any of my other cameras. It isn't great at stabilization, so I try not to use it. The sound isn't amazing compared to the other cameras, but you can adjust it in post-production. And it is a great little camera. Make sure if you're vlogging on a phone to be shooting it that way and not that way. That is my pet hate. And also most TVs are shot that way. This is the correct way which you should shoot on an iPhone. Adam the Woo, if you've heard of him, I'm surprised if you haven't. He always just shoots on an iPhone and his vlogs are amazing. His channel's huge, so yes. So if you don't have the money for a vlogging camera and you just want to get some basic vlogs out there, just use an iPhone. It's really good. And now onto the interesting stuff. If you are a fan of our channel vlogs, you'll notice that I've got some flying shots in there. So I do use a drone. I have a Phantom 3 standard. Sometimes I do wish I'd saved up a little bit longer and got the 4. This does have not the best range. It has enough range to get some cool shots. I think I paid around £500 for this one, as you can see right here. I've got a little YouTube sticker on, but I do need to get a little Florida Guy sticker to put underneath. It has a built-in gimbal underneath, so it gives you some super cool smooth footage. It goes just under a mile, and obviously the limit that it can go low wise is 120 meters, I think it is. So yeah, all the cool aerial shots in the vlogs are taken with this. I haven't had a chance to use it as much as I would like because the weather here in the UK at the minute isn't the greatest. Come summer, I'm hoping to have this out every weekend and shoot some cool scenes for some cool vlogs which I've got planned. The new DJI Phantom 4 Pro has just been released, but that has got a hefty price tag of around £1,500, I think it is. Between £1,000 and £1,500. That's a lot of money for a hobby. This is a great beginner drone, so if you haven't flown a drone before, I recommend going with the Phantom 3 standard. I have crashed this a few times if you've watched previous vlogs. I crashed it last week and I've chipped the rotor there. I've also smashed the blades, so I need to order some more blades. The good thing about the blades is it's only £4 for a set of blades. As for the camera quality, it is a 12 megapixel camera, which I think is the same as an iPhone, correct us if I'm wrong, but it shoots video in 2.7K, so that's higher than 1080 but lower than 4K. All my vlogs are shot in 1080, or if I use my iPhone it's downscaled to 1080, so I always have this set to 1080, and it gives off some awesome footage, especially if you slow it right down. So that's it. I've only got one battery with it, which is that. The batteries are around £130 each, because you only get around 23 minutes of flight time per battery. So that's it for the drone. And as for editing, this is where I do all my editing. So I've just got a basic desk with a set of drawers. There's the drone backpack. So I've got all different camera equipment, so I keep GoPro, G7X, DSLR, all the boxes and everything external there. I use a 27-inch 2015 iMac, or the 2016, which is when I bought it. It's got a 5K display. I upgraded it to the SSD fusion drive, I think it's called. I'm not too clued up on that, but I do use Final Cut Pro for editing. I started on iMovie, which comes free with an Apple Mac computer. I paid for Final Cut Pro because I thought it gave us more freedom in editing vlogs, and I absolutely love it. I have tried other ones such as Sony Vegas and Adobe Premiere. I didn't get along with them. Everybody's different, but Final Cut is what I use. And last but not least is my tripod, which you can see here. I can't really fit it in. It's a small tripod. I use this instead of a Joby pod when I'm filming on the DSLR, because it is so small. It's only 4 inches bigger than a Joby pod. I know it looks quite big on the screen here, but it's so handy just to hold, and if I want to take a cool photo, I get a cool low shot, it's easy just to pull the legs out. This was around £40 I think, and I did find out about this tripod from watching a guy called Exploring with Cody, and he uses this all the time. And since I've got it, it's been the best thing I've ever had. It's been so handy. I shot the abandoned train station or train yard with this. It is quite heavy, so I can't hold it like up all the time. So hence why it's good to put down. I do put it on the drawers when I'm talking in the house and whatnot. But I'm back on the G7X now. But I just wanted to show you the tripod which I do use. That's it guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions about the gear which I do use, which I haven't mentioned in the video, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it the best I can. If you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel but you don't know where to start, again leave a comment. I'll help the best I can. So that's it guys, thanks for watching, and remember, stay tuned.